The quadratic formula example 2, f of x equals negative 2x squared plus 10x minus 4. So our a value here is negative 2. Our b value is 10. And our c value would be a negative 4. Plugging that into our quadratic formula, we would have x equals negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 10 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times negative 4. All divided by 2 times negative 2. So simplifying inside of our square root, we would have 10 squared minus 4 times negative 2 times negative 4. I can just plug that into my calculator. And that will give us 68 inside or under our radical. And then 2 times negative 2, negative 4. So now we need to simplify our radical. To do that, I need to find some factors that will go into 68. 68 is divisible by 4. Let me do that up here in a different color. So 68 would be 4 times 17. So 4 is a perfect square, 17 is a prime number, so we can't do anything with that. So we could rewrite that as square root 4 times square root 17. In my simplifying then, I would have x equals negative 10 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 17. Because we take the square root of 4, that gives us 2. 17 stays inside, all over negative 4. So to get our exact answer now we need to simplify. If I look at all of these, I should see 10, 2, and 4. All of those are even numbers, so that means I can divide all of those by 2. And I'm actually going to divide all those by a negative 2 to get rid of the negative in my denominator. So 10, or negative 10 divided by negative 2 will give me 5, plus or minus 2 divided by negative 2 would be a negative 1. But since we have a plus or minus, that kind of cancels it out because we have both. So square root 17 over, and then negative 4 divided by negative 2 would be 2. So that would be our simplified. We can write it just like that for our exact answer. We don't need to split it up. If your teacher wants you to split it up, then you would have 5 plus square root 17 over 2, and x equals 5 minus square root 17 over 2. Okay. Then we're going to find our decimal answer. So to do that, I'm going to put this into my calculator. I'm going to put it in parts. I'm going to do the addition one first, so that would be 5 plus our square root of 17. And I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. If your calculator gives it to you in radical mode still, you need to just go into mode and change that. You'll have to go all the way down to the bottom. Use your arrow keys. And we want to be in classic instead of math print, and hit enter. And then if you quit out of mode, and we'll put that in again, 5 plus the square root of 17. Okay, gives me a decimal, and then that needs to be divided by 2. So that's my first decimal answer. So to 3 decimal places, I believe, is what we were rounding to earlier. That would be 5, 6, and that 5 there will round that up to a 2. So x would equal 4.652. And then our next one, x will equal, so then we need to do the minus version. So 5 minus the square root of 17, enter, divided by 2. And so that will be 0.43844, so that 4 is not going to round our 8 up. So 0.438. Those would be our exact and our decimal answers. Now, if I didn't split it up like this on my calculator as the 2 separate entries, then you would need to make sure you use parentheses when you insert or type in the first part. So you would need parentheses 5 plus, do your square root. Now notice your square root puts a parentheses in also, so when you end it, you need to put 2 parentheses to end both the radical and then to end the numerator of the fraction. And then you would divide by 2. And that would give you the same answer we got that first time. If you try it without parentheses, if I just did 5 plus square root 17 divided by 2, I'm going to get a completely different answer. That's because your calculator is following order of operations and is dividing before it adds. So those parentheses are very important, which is why I recommend you do it in 2 steps instead of trying to do it in 1 step. So again, our answers, so our exact, x would equal 5 plus square root of 17 all over 2, or x would equal 5 minus square root of 17 all over 2, or our 2 decimal answers, 4.652 or 0.438.